Welcome to Asset Television News. My name is Omike Matthew. Here are the headlines of the news. Senate rejects imposition of Electoral Commission members on Rivers State. PDP meets INEC, pledges to resolve crisis. Iran claims victory in 12-day war with Israel. Details of the news coming up next. Thanks for joining us. And now the news in detail. There was uproar on the floor of the Senate following the presentation and review of the ad hoc committee's reports on the emergency rule in Rivers State, specifically concerning the screening and approval of the chairman of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission. Tensions rose as lawmakers debated the nomination of Michael Odi, a non-indigent, for the RSEC chairmanship. These appointments sparked strong opposition from several minority party members. Senate Minority Leader Abamoro and two other senators voiced their disappointment, highlighting that the earlier appointment of a SO administrator, also not from Rivers State, had already generated controversy.
It is not from here that politics is creeping into this discussion, quite frankly, because we are looking at Rivers State under an emergency rule, under an administrator that ordinarily is not supposed to be a member of APC. That's what it means. And so what we are saying here is this. The report has been laid. I'm not sure that anybody is objecting to the report per se. You know, because something happened, something dramatic happened this afternoon on the floor of the Senate, where the chairman of Ethics, Privileges, and Public Petition breached all things that are ethical and left his house to another house.
Leader, point of order.
Today, Mr. President, we are saying that if 6 people from Rivers can be members of the Electoral Committee, what stops the 7th person from coming from Rivers? But if in the wisdom of the extraordinary leader there, he picks somebody from outside Rivers, one, he's from Cross River, and you know that there were some eyebrows raised when he was appointed administrator. Now he has gone to pick a Cross River person again to become chairman of the Electoral
I think order, please. Minority, 1 second remaining. 1 second.
At the end of the day, if you say it's politics, there's no problem with it, because we are all politicians, and it's politics that brought us here. So I'm not a lawyer. I'm not going to be talking law here. I'm talking about ethics. And so, Mr. President, what you want to hear is that we are going to take this report. From this eyes, we are going to take this report. But let it be known that at least we have some concerns about what is going on there. Because in the first place, this is an emergency rule.
Your time is all managed. I'm sorry, your time is all managed, leader.
Less than 3.
I watched the chairman of our corporation, and the way and manner he presented this particular bill speaks volume of his body language, because the fact of the matter, Mr. President, as a parliament, what you ought to hear from the committee chairman of appropriation is whether or not we are experiencing revenues, shortage of revenues, whether or not there is no money in this country to pay up this implemented project.
Colleagues, as my privilege, I also want to add my voice to this very, very important observation made by distinguished Senator Abdul Nengi. Let it be on record that I, Senator Mohammed Ali Ndume, I'm not against the appointment of whoever you recommended, but under the current circumstance and the fact that if today you want to interview 100 or even 1,000 qualified people for this position from Rivers, you will get it to choose from.
On the other hand, the Senate leader Opeyemi Bamidele and Chief Whip Senator Tahir Mungunu defended the nomination, insisting that no constitutional violations had occurred.
The Constitution is the grand norm of the land. So long as there is no inhibition, by way of constitutional prohibition, there is no constitutional inhibition. We are good to go. We are here to uphold the Constitution. In fact, we even swore to uphold the Constitution. And there is no any inhibition by way of the constitutional provision, which is the grand norm of the land.
Will the Senate confirm the appointments, confirm the nomination of the following persons as chairman and members of the Rivers State Local Government Service Commission? Sir Israel Moka Amadi, chairman. Nwandem Linus Onye Nuchia, member. Christabel Egu George Didia, member. Dr. Tonye D. Willie Pepple, member. Ewo Openi Richard, member. Ofik Emmanuel Omiru, member. Samuel Apiafi, member. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate confirm the appointments, confirm the nomination of the following persons?
The national leadership of the People's Democratic Party and governors elected on the platform has held meeting with the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) with a pledge to resolve the impasse surrounding the position of National Secretary of the party. Speaking at the meeting, PDP's acting national chairman Umar Damagun described the engagement as thorough and fruitful, noting that the party would embark on broader consultations with stakeholders before taking a final position on the matter.
We're here today, as you are aware, we have issues pertaining the status of our National Secretary. We've gone into litigation, I think, from the beginning of last year until when the Supreme Court, make a pronouncement, of which INEC was the party. We're here today to discuss and interact with you sincerely because we had NEC and there was a decision of NEC which mandated me to sign a letter to avoid controversy. And I received your reply on that letter urging us to be guided by certain rules. So,
INEC chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, who noted that the commissions granted the PDP's request for the interface, also reiterated INEC's openness to all registered political parties, as he highlighted inconsistency in the party's recent communications, particularly conflicting submissions on who occupies the national secretary role.
This meeting is at the instance of the party. They requested to interact with us, and our doors are always open to meet with leaders of political parties in our capacity as the registrar and regulator of political parties in Nigeria. You may recall that not long ago, we received similar visitors from the Labour Party. So when the PDP said it was going to visit, we welcome them. The acting national chairman has stated the purpose of the meeting to discuss the status of the party's national secretary. particularly regarding the letter we sent to the party on the request for us to monitor their 100th NEC meeting, which was only signed by the chairman and not the chairman and secretary.
The meeting follows INEC's June 13 letter, which rejected the PDP's notice for its upcoming 100th NEC meeting scheduled for June 30, as the commission flagged the notice as invalid due to the absence of the National Secretary's co-signature stipulated by its 2022 regulations and guidelines for political parties. Among the PDP governors present were Bala Muhammad Bauchi, who also chairs the PDP Governors Forum, Shey Makinde Oyo, Caleb Mufwang Plateau, and Dauda Lawal of Zamfara State. Also in attendance were notable party figures, including former Senate President Bukola Saraki, ex-governors Ahmed Makarfi and Sireke Dixon, and former PDP National Secretary Ben Obi. The PDP National Working Committee on Wednesday insisted that Samuel Anyanwu has not been reinstated as the party's national secretary. This comes after a press briefing by the PDP acting chairman Umar Damagun earlier on Wednesday, where he announced the cancellation of the NEC meeting and reinstated Anyanwu as the secretary. However, the NWC denounced Damagun's pronouncement, saying that only the NEC had the power to take such decisions. The acting national chairman reportedly announced that Senator Samuel Anyanwu has been asked to resume as national secretary of the party, contrary to the resolution of the 99th NEC meeting, which referred all matters relating to the office of the national secretary to the 100th NEC meeting. 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party, P2B, has charged President Bola Tinubu to accept the inevitable truth that Nigeria is now at war following the death of over 100 people during violent clash between bandits and Zamfara Civilian Protection Guard on Monday. P2B charged President Tinubu to act decisively, saying death in Nigeria happen more often than in countries at war. In a statement on Wednesday, Obi said President Tinubu needs to stop cutting ribbons, headlining ceremonies on front pages, and prioritize the security of lives over infrastructure projects, as Nigeria is at war. As a television news, we'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll bring you more stories. Please do stay tuned. Welcome back to Assets Television News, and we continue the news with this foreign news. The Supreme Court of Saudi Arabia has officially declared Thursday, June 26, 2025 as the first day of Muharram, marking the start of the Islamic New Year after the crescent moon was sighted on the evening of Wednesday, Zulhijjah 29th. The Supreme Court announced the decision after the Crescent Sighting Committee verified credible testimonies confirming the moon's sighting. The Saudi press agency quoted the court's statement, which included prayers for King Salman and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and a call for Muslim unity in the year ahead. Iranian authorities are moving to allow for tougher punishment of cooperation with foreign governments after a 12-day war with Israel and the United States ended with a ceasefire on Monday. In a late Tuesday message addressed to the Iranian nation, President Masoud Pezeshkian claimed a historic victory and said plans to sow discord and division among Iranians would fail. At the same time, the country's parliament and judiciary are advancing efforts to enforce more serious punishment against any action viewed as damaging to national security. The Iranian parliament approved a plan to intensify punishment for espionage and collaborators with the Zionist regime and hostile countries against national security and interests. Marches in Kenya to mark a year since massive anti-government demonstrations turned violent on Wednesday, with 2 killed and running battles between protesters and police, who flooded Nairobi streets with tear gas and sealed off government buildings with barbed wires. At least 60 people were killed last year by security forces in weeks of protest over tax rises and the dire economic situation for young Kenyans, peaking when a huge crowd stormed Parliament on June 25. Thousands gathered in central Nairobi and other towns on Wednesday, including the families of last year's victims, for initially peaceful anniversary marches. They soon descended into chaos as scattered groups ripped up flag tunes to throw projectiles at security forces and chanted for the resignation of President William Ruto. And to the world of sports now, Ronaldo is close to agreeing a new contract with Saudi Arabian club Al Nassr, according to media reports. The 40-year-old Portugal captain's deal was due to expire at the end of June, but sources indicated a two-year extension is close to being finalized. Ronaldo posted on social media, "The chapter is over," following the Riyadh club's final Saudi Pro League game of the season last month, leading to speculation he was set to leave. FIFA President Gianni Infantino then raised the prospect of him joining the team involved at the Club World Cup after Al Nassr's failure to qualify for the extended tournament, which is being held in the United States. Ronaldo said he had received offers from participating teams but have turned them down. Having helped Portugal win the UEFA Nations League 2 weeks ago, the former Manchester United, Real Madrid and Juventus forward appears to have decided to stay in Saudi Arabia and is said to be considering making his own sports investment in Gulf nation. And that ends the news, and on behalf of the production team, I am Omike Matthew, and don't forget to follow us on all our social media handle for more contents right here. Thank you for watching.